there, guys. I know it's been a long time since I posted anything, and I don't know how many of you are actually left. I'm still showing I have quite a few subs, I mean, for me, but I don't know how many of you are actually watching these anymore. But I have been asked a couple times when I'm going to do a video, so I thought I would do a video. It's in the middle of the night, so why not? This is actual iced coffee, and it doesn't have anything in it except decaf iced coffee. There's no fancy flavor, no shot of this and shot of that, and no special foam or anything. So I hope it's allowed, because I went into a Starbucks. I don't normally go to Starbucks, but I was in the area and I asked for just plain coffee, and they kind of looked at me funny. So I figured it has no calories, and I hear now that it's good for you, like it's good for your liver and stuff. So that's what I'm drinking today. But to make a more interesting looking thing while I talk, and here's the cat. And we have visitor. Yes, she's still around. Say hello. Kiki LaRue. She's doing well. Into everything still. Anyway, so I privated all my videos except I think the last one, and then the first one I ever did, which has nothing to do with crafting or cross stitch or anything like that. And I did that because I got mad at YouTube, because when I started my channel years ago, I didn't do it to monetize it. Now, I don't have a problem with anybody monetizing theirs, so don't get me wrong. If you can make some extra money and or make a career of it, that's great. But unless I suddenly took off and started getting a ton of views, I'm not going to be making money off of YouTube. So I'm not monetized, and come to find out that they're running ads on my videos anyway. So that means YouTube and the advertisers are making the money, and I don't think that's fair that I'm not making any money and they're making the money off of my videos. I don't think that's fair. So I got mad and I privatized all my videos, because they're so old now that there's a few that still get a lot of views, but anyway, so, but this one I'll leave up for a while. I'm going to, here, Kitty's back is not very interesting, but this is one I made from a kit. I think it's a DMC kit. Both my sisters, I think, gave me these kits for my birthday that I wanted, and one I gave away, and this one I finished. So okay, now she's gonna lounge, and I'll put in here the timestamp if you don't want to hear my blah 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 and you just want to get to the stitching, so you don't have to listen to me talking, because I tend to ramble. So what's been happening the past year and a half since I've made a video, my mother passed away, not this past July, but the one before, July 2022. I've still got my dad. My sister and I take care of him, and I'm in the process of getting rid of tons of stuff in my house, because at some point I'm probably going to have to move out and live somewhere else. So the last month or two I haven't really been stitching very much. I had kind of a hip thing going on that it was uncomfortable to sit in my chair and stitch, but now that seems to be all cleared up, and so I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. I'm still in WIP Go, and I'll leave the link down below from Jessie Marie's that explains what it is. It's where you pick a couple projects each month and you put them on like a bingo board, and and then she calls numbers each month to tell you which numbers you're going to work on that month, and it helps you work on your WIPs. So what I thought I would do, because I don't want to go back all through my videos and figure out which things I've shown you and which things I haven't, because I don't remember. So I'm just going to do a WIP parade of what I have. I have cleaned out a lot of things, and I realized how many kits I actually have. I didn't realize that I had so many kits, and most of them are dimensions. But I have been working on things over the last year and a half. Now we're bored, so we're going to go away. So I'll show you the WIPs. I do have some finishes, but then I thought, well, I'll put the finishes in a different video, and I'll just show you all my finishes. Hopefully I can remember the ones that I've fully finished and remember to insert pictures. My mom always wore little house dresses, like moo-moos, I guess you call them. They were like, you know, $10 little house dresses, cotton polyester. And after she died, I took a bunch of them and cut them up, and I made a lap quilt for my two sisters. My dad didn't want a quilt, so I just made him a pillow, and I'll see if I can put pictures in here. And then I made myself just a small pillow with, and then I printed her a childhood picture, and then the last picture that I took of her, and printed those on the photographic fabric, and added them to the pillows and the quilts. So that project took a while. So my stitching this year has kind of been hit or miss. I have been trying to keep up with WIP Go. Last month I didn't do any of the goals because I didn't feel well because of my hip, but I really want to get back into stitching like I was. So let's just start. Moon Hair by Heaven and Earth Designs. Originally I had started it from a magazine, one of the British cross-stitch magazines, and then it was released on Heaven and Earth Designs, and I wanted to be able to use Pattern Keeper, which, if you don't know, is a program that you can use on a tablet or your phone, or I think also your computer, and it lets you highlight stitches, so it's easier to find stitches that way rather than working off paper. And it's a fantastic program. I'll put a link down below, and it's inexpensive, and I'm using it now on all the projects that I can that have a lot of stitching in them. And Heaven and Earth Designs I think she made all the patterns now compatible with it. So I restarted this because when I also bought the pattern from Heaven and Earth Designs, and I noticed that some of the symbols had changed, and I just thought it's just easier to restart it from the beginning. So here's where I am, and my camera angle isn't very good here because I can't really back up too far, so I'll do the best I can. But this one, I love working on this one. It's hard to put it away when I'm you know, it's like in WIP Go or something else. But I've gotten almost, not all, I've gotten a lot done. You can see it's about from here up. But I really like working on this one. And this is a smaller Heaven and Earth design because it was made for the magazine. I think they didn't want some huge project. So it is a smaller one, relatively speaking. And this is on 18 count. So anyway, so I'm working on that one. Okay, this is a Touch of Gold Bacilla Heirloom Collection. And it's 28 count mushroom even weave. And it's 13.5 by 16, and this is all I've had done. Now, the pattern, and I'm going to show you some of the chart, and if you can stitch off of this by me showing you this, you're a miracle worker. Sorry for the glare. So here's, I had made a photocopy to work off of it. The paper, you can see I've highlighted her cheek and stuff. But you can tell how detailed it is. It's almost full coverage, if not full coverage. Except in the background, I think there's some that it's not stitched. But there's tons of back stitch and, you know, three plies and 2 plies and half stitches, and it's just very involved. So I wrote to Basila and I asked them if they had the PDF version, and I told them, you know, I can prove that I bought the kit and everything. They were gracious and sent it to me, but if you import your own PDF that doesn't have the active symbols in it, which I won't go all into Pattern Keeper, it won't. You can mark off stitches, but it won't highlight stitches as far as finding them. And I just the cat's in the cabinet. It sounds like a song or a book title. Key. So what I thought I would do is, I know Heaven and Earth Designs has this. It doesn't look exactly like this because it doesn't have all the back stitch and everything, but I know they have a version of this picture, so I'm thinking I might just buy that pattern and restart this so that I can use Pattern Keeper, because I'm so spoiled now. This pattern is really difficult for me to work on, and you know, my eyes aren't getting any younger. This next one is really old, a really old kit. It's still available. I think it's available as a download on the Cooler Design website. I think you can still get it. It's called Honeybee Happening. It's 9.33 by 17.33. I still like it. I haven't gotten very far. It was in one of my WIPCOs. I have these 3 little bees and some background. So I haven't gotten very far in this one. And it's, let's see, it's 14 count. And I'm just using it on the fabric it came with. It's mostly full coverage. There is the background, there is some blank. So I just thought, oh, I might as well just use the fabric that came with it. But I still love this one. This is a Gold Collection, Dimensions Gold Collection, Gracious Era. I think it's really pretty. And this one, it's 16 by 10. I think it's 14 count. I'm not sure. But this one, I have had such trouble. I don't know why, but every time I stitch the guy, I'm starting in the middle, so I'm working on him right here. I keep getting off my count, which is so dumb because it's not that difficult. But anyway, when I was stitching on this fabric, it's a dove gray. It was so stiff, it was cutting my floss and irritating me. So I did wash it so it would make it softer, and the weave tightened up a little bit, but that's alright. I think it's been lingering because my frustration with stitching this guy. So then I thought, well, I'll just move over and work on her, and that's as far as I've gotten on her. This is Prairie Schooler. I'm doing the whole series of these alphabets on one fabric. And this is a picture from the internet of somebody that did it all on one. So I'll just show you briefly. The one I did, the nest one's right here. So you can see it's going to be fairly large. So it is on a big piece of fabric. So this one is M is for mermaid, this one is N is for nest. I've only completed the nest one. So I'm kind of working from the middle out. It's very slow going. It's 2 over 1, and I believe this is 20, it's either 25 or 28 count. And I know some people work on like 36 count and whatever, but for me, I can't see that even with magnification. So this one's very challenging for me because it is so small for me to see. But I didn't want, I mean, there's 26 or 7 of these little motifs, and I didn't want a picture that was 5 feet big. So this makes it a little bit smaller. It's still on a huge piece of fabric though. This is Rocky Point Dimensions kit. I started this kit 10 years ago. My dad had lymphoma, and I started it as, you know, in his honor or whatever you want to call it, thinking about him. And this is as far as I've gotten. So probably maybe almost halfway. I have a little bit more here to do, a little bit halfway. And this is 11 by 17. It's on 18 count ivory. And it's a relaxing stitch, especially down in the rocks and everything, because you don't really pay attention to what you're actually stitching, because it's all greenery and it'll be waves and rocks and stuff. So I do have some more back stitching to do up in the top part where the lighthouse is. This is stacked teacups. You can't even tell what it is. This is a small one, Gold Collection Petite, 18 count. It's about 5 by 7, I think. But I thought it was really cute. I didn't realize when I got the kit, I didn't pay attention. The background is all stitched too. I mean, it's not, you know, solid stitching, but I didn't realize how much background there was. But I just thought it was pretty. This one's a Heaven and Earth design, and you can see I'm almost finished with it. Haha. I'll put a picture here. It's Childhood Sweethearts. It reminds me of my mom and dad. And I've only put a few stitches in, obviously. I'm doing it on 18 count, and it's 35 by 28, which is gigantic. And as you can see, I have so much done. This is not cross stitch, it's beading, and I got this little kit. Anyway, you use beads, which are here, and you do it like cross stitch, but then you just follow, you know, you just cover where the colors are to tell what beads go where, and you can kind of see. It's hard to tell because the videos don't show the sparkle, but I have finished like right here and some of the other spots. But I've had this a long time and I want to finish it. So I think for next year I'm going to put it in my WIP Go, because it just sits and doesn't get done, but I still like it. She's back for trouble. Now this WIP, some of you long timers might remember. This is the Penguins on Ice. This is that long Design Works kit. It's 3 inches by 28 inches. 14 count Ada. And you can see in the picture here how long it is with all these penguins. And I'm probably a little more than halfway. I kept setting goals like, okay, do 2 a month and then you'll be done, but then I don't. So see, I have more to do. I need to put this on my WIP Co for next year too. This is my Dark Shadows kitty. Sorry, but you're in the way. This is my Dark Shadows that I kind of put together using different images in Photoshop, and this is what it'll look like. This is for the original Dark Shadows television show, and I was working on it for like Dark October and Dark 13 stitching, but I kind of fell off that bandwagon, so I hope to get back on it and you know, work on it some more. Kitty, she's knocking my stuff off. This is on, I believe it's 22 count. This one is Butterfly Vignette. I just have, and it's really old. I've had this kit forever and ever too. And it's Go Collection Petites. It's about 5 by 7, no, 8.5 by 4. And I think it's really pretty, so I do want to finish it. This one I haven't even started, and it's the Maya, if that's how you say it, collection from Anchor. And she's beautiful, and I don't know how to say this. I'm going to butcher it. Yumi Zakura. And she's beautiful. I was given this as a gift a few years ago. I'm a little intimidated by it, but I do still want to work on her. But I haven't even started yet. I think she's a little intimidating to me, and I don't know why exactly. I mean, it doesn't look that complicated. This one's a really old one too. Beading for Needlework, Basics and Beyond from Mill Hill. It was $5.50. 1994, and I know I've had it for years, so possibly I could have had it since 1994, but I'm doing this front cover one. And I've been trying to work out a way to do beading that's comfortable, because I don't sit at a table, so when I'm sitting in my recliner, the beads are kind of fiddly and stuff. I actually have worked, this was a WIP Go. I think it was this year. I can't remember now. But I have worked on a little bit, but it's very slow going for me. They're a little wonky. I might go back and anchor them down. I'm not that experienced with beading. That's where the beads take the center stage. If it's beading within like a cross stitch pattern, that's fine. But when the beading is the thing, I'm not that great at it. I'll see if I can insert a picture of the whole thing. This is how far I am on Country Cottage Needleworks, the Santa's Village series, and I'm doing it all on one fabric. I have let's see how many more. I have 3 more motifs to go, so not too bad. This is probably 4 years old, something like that, and it's on a very big piece of fabric, as you can see. This is a Heaven and Earth design. It's an ornament. I can't remember the name. If somebody wants it, let me know and I'll figure it out. It's a Faces of Fairy one. 25 count Lugana, and for some reason this has given me trouble, and I don't know why, because I've worked on more complicated ones, but I don't know. I keep having to frog out and add back in, and frog out and add back in, so it's kind of in the UFO pile because it's in the naughty corner right now. This is Joan Elliott's Earth Goddess, and I worked on this a lot last year and then put it away. I added in a couple of bunnies from one of her other patterns that I have because it's not in the original picture. Oh, well, you can't really see here, but they're down in this corner here. So, and here's what the whole thing looks like. And she has the sweetest face, though. I don't know if I can hold this up far enough, but she has the sweetest face. So I have more to do on the circle around her, all the leaves with it. It uses Kreinik and beads all around, and then back stitching around her head, and then the left side, finish the left side. The right side is all done. This is Gone with the Wind series that they put out years ago. It doesn't have a date, but I know it was a long time ago. This one is Scarlet and Barbecue Dress. I had made another one for my sister where she's in the green velvet dress. So anyway, this is a companion piece. I've always liked this dress from Gone with the Wind, but I haven't gotten very far. Only this part of her sash. I haven't gotten very far in it. It's on 28 count even weave, 14 by 12. This is my grab the project and go when I have to go somewhere that doesn't have very good lighting, or I don't want to have to concentrate too much. This is one of those kits. I got this years ago. It's one of those China kits that you stitch over the colors, and then when you're all done you wash it and the background washes out. I did one a few years ago that was like an autumn house, and this is what it looks like. Of course it doesn't look this, you know, clear and all, but that's what it's supposed to look like. But I use this like if I have to sit at an appointment for a long time, or just where I know that I won't be able to stitch with detail, then I can just grab a color and I know, you know, by looking at this where it needs to go. This is the start of Pandemic by Long Dog Sampler. This was a pattern that when COVID first became a thing, Long Dog Sampler generously offered this as a free pattern for a limited time. So I started it, and I'm using this DMC variegated, but I haven't gotten very far. And I know a lot of people have long since finished theirs. It's a very big pattern. And I kind of keep going back and forth as to whether I want to UFO it or not. I still like it, and I bought mini skeins of this variegated floss, and it is pretty. I like the colors. I'm just not sure. So it's sitting in my whip. It's sitting in my whip pile, trying to make a decision. This is in her garden, and I haven't even started it, and I'm not sure what I want to do. I like it. I wish I had it finished, but I don't know if I want to stitch it or not. So I should just start, and then if I don't enjoy it, then I can decide what to do with it. But she is very pretty. It's 11 by 16 gold collection. I can tell there's lots of confetti, but that's okay. It's on it's on 18 count ivory, and it does use some half stitches, so that makes it go a little faster. So we'll see. I might contact Dimensions and ask them if they have a PDF that works with Pattern Keeper. Sometimes they'll send a PDF if you can show that you own the kit. I'm not sure if they're automatically compatible or not. I have a feeling they're not. They're probably just a regular PDF, but we'll see. Here's another one I haven't started, but I want to. This is Janlin Autumn Sampler. This is an old kit. I know you can get it, cattail, sorry. I know you can get it as a PDF now. I'm not really sure where. Maybe Design Works? Not really sure, but I have seen it where people use a PDF. and I still like it. I just haven't started it. This is DMC Snowshoe. This is a companion piece. I think my sister gave me this for birthday or Christmas. This is a companion piece to the one I did that was the tabby, and if I can find a picture I'll put it in here, that I did finish. This is full coverage. I haven't started this one yet. This might go on the WIP Go board for next year. This is a Happy Easter pillow. This is a photocopy. This was a book, a cross-stitch book. Probably a lot of you have this book, but I had checked it out of the library. This is a super old WIP. I checked it out of the library and made photocopies of everything because back then that's what you did. I still like this, but I haven't gotten very far. It was in my WIPCO this year, but something happened. I can't remember. I got sick or somebody got sick, so I only did a little bit on it. I think I only did part of this P. So this is very slow going. I've had this for years. Like I said, I can tell how long I've had it because I hand stitched around the edge, and I don't do that. I normally zigzag, or sometimes now I don't even do that. If it's in a hoop, I'll just let the edges go raw. And I'm sorry, I don't know the name of it. I was trying to find the name. It's just called Easter Pillow because I only have photocopies of the... And it's from this artwork by Steve Thomas. He gave me permission to chart it. And it is... I charted it through Pick-to-Pat, which is compatible with Pattern Keeper. And I love working on it. I need to get back to it. I had to restart it. Originally I had the whole bottom here done, but I realized I had the fabric oriented the wrong direction. Plus, I recharted it to lighten it up a little because in the first one I did, I should show it here, but the background was so dark you couldn't tell. I mean, this doesn't have much detail anyway, but you couldn't tell between some of these, like the fish and stuff. So I lightened the picture up a little bit and then ran it back through Pick-to-Pat, and it gave a little lighter version. So that's how far I am. I'm starting at the bottom. I gave myself plenty of fabric, more than enough, just to make sure. And I really like this project though. And Rapture is the city in BioShock, which is a video game. Rapture is, when you're playing the game, it's a fallen city. But this picture is supposed to be before the city falls. So, and I really like it. So this is Heaven and Earth Designs. This is a segment from a Stitch in Time that's part of a huge panel that a lot of people stitch. But on impulse one day, I went into Heaven and Earth Design and I bought, it's a quick stitch chart. You can see she's stitching and stuff. And I bought it and the kit for it with all the floss. And I haven't started it, and this was a while ago. And I'm having buyer's remorse. Not that I don't like it, I do like it, but I don't know if I want to stitch it. I have it all, I mean, I bought it already kitted up except for the fabric, and I have the fabric in there. Everything's ready to go. I'm just, I don't know, I'm procrastinating about it, so I'm going to try to pull it out and work on it, and maybe I'll be more enthused, but it was an impulse thing, and it was kind of pricey, but I'm hoping that I'll get inspired to actually sit down and stitch it. This is Design Works. It's a Joan Elliott, what's it called? Golden Geisha. I started this on a piece of pink fabric that was kind of this color pink. But I can't remember now why I didn't do it right or something was wrong. So I need to start it over. But I do think she's pretty. She's 12 by 16. It says 14 count Aida, but I'll probably do it on an even weave. I'll have to find the picture, but I haven't started this one yet. This is called Snow Cat. It's a Russian design, and I don't know where I got the pattern from. I tried to find the kit to buy it, and I couldn't find it. So I think the chart I have is probably not legal, but I want to stitch it. And like I said, I tried to find the kit for it. So if I do find the kit, I'll buy the kit. But if I can't, oh, somebody's back. If I can't, I am going to stitch it, even because I don't know where I got the pattern from. I must have downloaded it from somewhere, or somebody gave it to me. I don't remember. Here's another gold collection my sister got for me. Dimensions gold collection called Parrot Tulips. And let's see, it's 12 by 15. I haven't started it yet. Get out of the way, cat. I might ask Dimensions for a PDF. I'm not sure yet. I haven't really looked at it that close. But I do think it's pretty, and I'd like to work on this one. I know it uses half stitches, so that makes it go faster too. This is Christmas Morning Pets. This is an old one. That's as far as I've gotten. The first floss tubes there were that I saw anyway. There were a couple here and there, older ones where people would talk about cross stitching. But before that, it was mainly seeing Russian women showing what they were stitching on, and they were, I couldn't understand what they were saying, but you don't really need to when they're just showing their work. So they were doing, it was obvious they were doing some kind of a stitch along using this pattern, and I thought it was really cute, so I got it. But that's as far as I got, and like I said, it's really old now. But I used to watch a lot of the Russian ladies doing their, and Ukraine and Russian ladies doing their cross-stitching, because that was all there was at the time. And it's funny that at that time I didn't think to put cross-stitch on my YouTube channel because I didn't see anybody else doing it, so I didn't think anybody would want to watch that. And then it exploded, and that's why I decided to put mine on there and not do so much craft stuff like I had done with clay and other things, art journaling, that sort of thing. This is a super old pattern out of a magazine. It's called Miracle of Every Single Day, and some of you might remember this from when I was working on it before. I'm not going to do this top part. I'm just going to bring the border down and do it right above where the sun is. The sun in this picture has a face. I'm not going to put the face on it. But this is how far I've gotten. I just did the bunnies, because of course I did the bunnies. So that's how far I've gotten. But I think it's a really cute sampler with the strawberries and the bunnies, of course. So this is from a magazine. It's really old. I don't even know what magazine it is. This one was in my WIP Go last year. Design Works Heartfelt series, Be Joyful. And I remember that I had already finished the bird, or most of the bird, and I worked on these flowers. And I still like this pattern. This is a kit I haven't started. It's, who's the... oh, it's Design Works, but it doesn't really say except way down at the bottom. It's cross stitch. See the kitty? It's called, I don't know. It's 5973, 18 count. It's got a bunny, and I haven't started it yet. Here's the... So this is a combination of two charts, and they're both the Prairie Schooler. I bought them used. And there's a Prairie Year and a Prairie Year 2. And I'm picking the motifs that I like the best for whichever month it is. But this bunny, who is supposed to be for April, I believe, gave me so much trouble because the first time I stitched it in the wrong place. I stitched it down here, which would have been January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, and that's not right. So I stitched it. I didn't stitch the whole thing, but when I realized it was in the wrong place, I picked it out. Then I stitched it in the right place, but I stitched it upside down because I turned my fabric in the hoop to stitch it upside down because it's easier than trying to reach the way I had it in the frame. So the bunny was upside down. So I had to pick all that out, and this is the third time I've stitched it. So so I still have a few more motifs to go. This is Stargazer. This is a Mirabilia, and she's been finished for a long time, probably 5 years, 4 or 5 years. And I know you can't see it, but this fabric is very sparkly. I'm having a hard time figuring out where there's swirls of beads. I know you can't see them, but there's swirls of beads that go around her head. I had such a hard time trying to figure out where those beads should go. Here's a bit of the chart. And, you know, like I said, if you can stitch a thing off of this, you're a miracle worker. See, there's a lot of free-floating beads. I don't really want to mark the fabric because I can't wash this. It's hand-dyed fabric. It's been in my UFO pile for a long time, but I want to finish her. So this is in my WIP Go for this year. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at what the August ones are yet. But she's in my WIP Go to finish this beading. And I bought one of those flexible rulers, and I thought maybe that could help me, you know, make a curve and then mark it either with floss or find a way to mark where the beads should go. Because like I said, and because this is a tight weave, I think it's 32 count, but it's been washed, I mean, from when they dyed it, which makes it very tight weave, and for me it's hard to see. So, but I do love her, and I do want to have her finished. She's very big. But anyway, and I love her on this fabric. I think this was Pole Stitch's fabric. I can't remember the name of it though. This I got for my birthday this last year. The Finery of Nature Dimensions Gold Collection Kit. Really pretty. I think Stitchin Mommy is doing this one. I don't have a problem stitching on black. I found the easiest way is to angle your light a little bit so that you can see the bump because it's Aida fabric, I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Yeah, it's 14 count Aida. So for me, the easiest way is to angle the light a little bit off side so that you can see the hills and valleys of the Aida cloth, and it's easier to know where your needle goes. And I've heard people, you know, put a light below you, like on your lap, or put a white cloth. But putting the light slightly to the side seems to work for me on black. It's really pretty. I should do it with Stitchin Mommy. It would encourage me to start it. And then I have some Mill Hill. This is Hocus Pocus Trilogy. Then I had a project I wanted to do using the Haunted series. This is the Haunted Laboratory. Midnight Farm. Haunted Hotel. Opera House. Haunted Mansion. And Haunted Library, which I have started. Now, my original idea was to take these and put them all on one piece of fabric and not use the perforated paper. But now I'm not sure what I want to do. I know I want to have them as a group, but I'm just not sure how I want them as a group. So they're still pending, I guess you'd call it. And then I have a bunch of Mill Hill kits. Peekaboo, Kringle Wreath, Jim Shore Snowman. This one I started. Love, Moonstruck. This one might go in with my those other Haunted series. I'm not sure. It doesn't really fit in there though, because those are more like buildings. Festival of Trees, which I've started. Sheep Egg. Snowman Stocking. Love Halloween. And Woodland Sleigh. Now, these are so small. I know. It would take me a day or two, and I should just do them. Just take a day and do them. This is Dimensions Mason Jar Lineup. Really cute. I haven't done very much. Partial jar. And Taryn is doing this, and she's farther than I am. And it inspires me to want to work on it. But I'm hoping as I work on it more, I become more interested. But right now, I'm not interested. So I keep putting it back in the pile, even though I really like this. And my sister got me this kit, and I had asked for it. But right now, the jars are not inspiring me. So maybe I'll move up and, you know, work on some of the flowers. Maybe that'll make me more inspired. I did swap the fabric out for even weave instead of the 14 count. And we have Cricket Collection October. Really cute. I haven't started this one yet. This one is super old. Cross Stitch Country Crafts Variegated Floss Sampler. You can also find this in the Better Homes and Gardens cross stitch book. I don't remember the name of it, but it's in that book. This uses the old variegated floss, not the new ones that came out a couple years ago. I like this. I want to change the purples to turquoises and stuff, and I'm in a Facebook group for it, which hardly gets any activity because I think they've all finished theirs. The problem with this one is it's not variegated like you just stitch whatever color comes up next. It's not that way. They have you take the variegated floss and cut it up into sections. See, these are the old style. This is 62. Focus. Anyway, these are the old style ones. And they have you take apart the floss, cut it up into sections. So like this alphabet that has lighter and darker colors, you would cut so that the floss has lighter here and lighter here and lighter here, and then you would go down. So it's very fiddly, and I don't really see the point if you're not going to stitch it as a variegated floss. You know, after I worked to get all the colors and everything, and I realized, reading the chart, look at all of my notes about, you know, getting all the colors and what you have to do. Like, the color thing tells you to cut off the parts that you need to get it. So I don't know if I want to do this one. I like it, but it's just too fiddly. So it's in my possible UFO pile for the moment, even though I worked diligently to find all the different flosses, because some of them you can't find anymore. This is a Just Nan that I've had for years, and I haven't started it yet. It's a sampler called Love Grows. It's got bees on it. Cute. And it comes with the beads and charms. It's about 10 by 3 inches. And I have kitted up, but this is my working copy. Letters from Nora. But I want to change some of the colors. So, and it's my initial. I'll see if I can find a picture, because I don't have it here. But I want to change the colors to blues and greens. This is one called Christmas Dinner, and I'll put a picture. I only have a working copy in my project bag. This one I haven't started, but I have the floss and everything ready to go. Another gold collection. Fields of Lavender, really pretty. This is on 14 count, and I decided to just use the 14 count because it's pretty much full coverage, except I think there's a few blank spots in the sky. But this is as far as I've gotten on this one, not very far. This was a WIP from last year, I believe. This is another Heaven and Earth design, lady seated at her needlework. I still love this one. I saw another version of this, which I kind of like the colors better. It's a little less brown with a little more greens, but I don't want to start it over, so I probably could, because I don't have that much done, but still. I think this is on 25 count, I don't remember. This kit I've had for years. I think my mom got this for me when I was sick or something. Needle Treasures Bunny Hop. Pretty. And I think I have seen this in PDF format somewhere, but I don't know what company it would be. It just says Needlework Designs. AGG. And I know it's old because I have tape around the edges. And I haven't taped around the edges in 20 years at least. Another gold collection. What is this called? It's called Cozy Cove. I think I have this in a puzzle too. But I have a whole lot done. This one, a lot of you have seen this if you've been with me a long time. Mill Hill Alphabet Treasures, and this is on a huge piece of fabric, and it requires a bunch of different buttons and doodads that are Mill Hill. Some of them, I have a lot of them, but I don't have all of them. And some of them are a little dated, but this is how much I have done, just some of the cross stitch. And if I had to do it over, some of the things, like I'm not a hearts person, I'm not an angels person, so I might modify some of it, because this is an older pattern, which that was a thing, hearts and angels. But like some of the buttons are kind of dated, they're like 80s, you know, those buttons that are chunky, and so I might substitute, but we'll see. So the last 3 projects are ones that I was working on at my stitching chair. And the first one is Taryn house. This one I've had for a number of years. And because of my hip issue, I didn't really get to stitch on it during the WIP Go. So I'm hoping that I can fit it in before the end of the year somehow. And then Red Mermaid, which is a beautiful kit. This one is also part of WIP Go, and it's a difficult kit for me though, not because the fabric is dark, it's navy blue, but there's a lot of quarter stitches, half stitches, blended floss, and I mean that's what makes it so pretty. But I enjoy working on it. It's just I have to really pay attention when I'm working on it. And the other one that I'm working on is this little snow globe. It's just a little snow globe, and of course I got it because it has bunnies on it. So I'm working on that one too. And so I guess that's it for now. I do have some felt projects, Bucilla kits, plus I did a couple of wool projects that I'll show. I might show those in the next video, which is going to be my finishes, and maybe I'll tag the felt on to the end of the finish video, because this video is super long. That one will be shorter. If you're still with me after all this time, plus the length of this video, thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments, because I know I'm not the greatest at describing what they are and the names and all of that. So if you have any questions, let me know.